And just like that, we are back. It is the Real Estate Radio Show featuring Chris Lofthus of the Chris Lofthus Group at Keller Williams Realty. Chris, I was remiss in asking you the last segment. I just got an email from a listener said, do you think the market has made its correction in Boise? Is that why there's the huge shift? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts on it in general is, and everyone always kind of asks me, so, well, God, you seem concerned. Well, I'm concerned because of the fact of the matter is when you see inventory numbers so stagnant, around the 2,200 range for so many weeks in a row. I mean, we're hitting June. I mean, we're in a real healthy market, and people have a tendency to disagree with me, but you want to see 3,000 homes in Ada County with just populations and how many people live here and everything. There's a healthy market, not a seller's market, not a buyer's market. And I think that's really what's going on right now is all the buyers still think it's a buyer's market. And the sellers are starting to kind of figure out, hey, things are starting to show up around here and there's no inventory. And, every time a good listing pops on, it's gone.
Our next guest is Gerri Kelley, who works with Chris, the Chris Lofthus Group. We met Gerri, about a month or so ago, about 5 or 6 weeks, came on the show. Now, Chris, my description of Gerri is she's enthusiastic, passionate about the business, but she's a great listener. And I think I can only imagine being out looking for, I like somebody that's enthusiastic, but I don't want them to decide what I want. And I think that's how is that she listens to what both buyers and sellers, she's a great listener.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the number one downfall of realtors. Not to badmouth any realtors, but the number one downfall of realtors is they don't listen. And the fact of the matter is that buyers and sellers alike, they get frustrated because the communication link is not there. And so, what Gerri's going to talk about a little bit is about, what's our philosophy at the Chris Lofthus Group and what we, in general, what kind of service we give the buyer and seller, and the attitude that we have going in is that the goal is what you want, not what we want or what we need out of it. The point is that, if your family needs a 5-bedroom, 4-bath, we shouldn't be showing you 3-bedroom, 2-baths, if you know what I mean.
So with that, we welcome Gerri to the show. Gerri is an Idaho native, grew up in central Idaho, Grangeville, and is here with us today. Gerri, what's your secret? And you may not want to give it out to your competition, although they can't emulate it. What's your secret to making it a great experience for your clients?
Well, thanks for having me back, Dave. It's always a pleasure. My secret is really just to listen. It's not about what I want. It's about what the clients want. And sometimes it's not just what's said, it's what's not said. So it's just really paying attention to what they're looking for.
Now, in particular, we've talked about, hey, we need more sellers out there. We're looking for more sellers. And I'm assuming that there's people that, I'd like to sell it, but I don't know what I can get for it. We're talking about it. Just doesn't seem like a good time. How do you walk them through that?
Well, I really just sit down and ask them exactly what their plans are. I mean, what do they want out of it? What's their next step? Where are they going? And then try to walk them through what they have to do to get where they need to go to.
So what would be your suggestion in terms of what we hear Chris, who I always say he's the Billy Graham of real estate. He's pretty darn passionate. Why should buyers and sellers jump into this opportunity right now? The interest rates, the inventory. What do you tell them?
Exactly. That's exactly what I tell them. And you said perfect storm. It really is the perfect storm. I mean, interest rates are low, and Chris is right. They're not going to stay that way forever. Prices are low on property. It's just really a great time.
Chris, what are elements that made you say, hey, Gerri needs to be part of my team, and that you see her do with your clients every day?
Well, she gets it, and that's always been my goal when I moved here. I moved here five years ago last week, and when we talk about what we do as a group and what we do in our philosophy and really, like we always say, go back to listening, but making it just a great experience in general for a buyer or a seller. But, when Gerri and I first sat down, I mean, she just got it. She understood, Gerri worked for years by herself. And it is a change when you go to work onto a team or a group because it's more of a group effort. But she understands the fact that when we have, 5 sets of eyes on something as opposed to just one realtor trying to help somebody out where they have multiple clients, nothing falls through the cracks. So, we have a net. For example, we had a staff meeting yesterday and we talked about how to work better as a team, how to work better as a group. And Gerri and Annette and Sharon and everyone else, they get it. And that's why I always talk about hiring talent. You always look for people that really do kind of get it. And Gerri's in it for the consumer. Gerri's in it for the client. And that's what I love so much about her.
And prior to our show, it's the Sandler Training Hour, which I just keep moving from studio to studio. So, Chris, obviously, you know how passionate I am about training and coaching and marketing. You are too. I mean, everything I look here, I see CLG uses training. We're about training, train. Have you noticed that, Gerri? Well, obviously, going from where you were before now, you're in with this group and teamwork and training.
Definitely. The best part about our group is that everybody kind of gets to do what they do best at and what they like. And when you're doing that, you're doing a better job because you're happier. And we have all the holes plugged. I mean, we make sure nothing falls through the cracks. And we really want people to be happy. We want people to come back to us and say they had a great experience.
Now, Gerri, how do you? I know how busy Chris is. I called you yesterday to talk about the show. So it was Friday about 8:00. You're in the car. Hey, I'm getting ready to go. I'm doing a showing and I've got a buyer and then there's another. And I'm like, well, Gerri, it's 8:00. Oh, I love what I do. How do you keep that enthusiasm? Is it about the clients you get to work with?
It is. It's definitely about the people. It's so rewarding to give somebody exactly what they want and have them be really happy and then recommend us to other people because we did a great job for them.
So, Chris, that being said, what do you hope your clients say afterwards when they go, the Chris Lofthus and his Chris Lofthus group experience was this?
Yeah, I mean, there's a great, we constantly are tweaking our website and we're working on different things like, I'll discuss a little bit in the fourth segment, but, the biggest thing we want people to understand is that we're here for them and we want them to, so for example, we just don't want to do one transaction with them. We want customers for life and we want them to refer us off. And so my motto is if we do a fantastic job and we make it more about the consumer and instead of making it about the deal, and whether it's we're negotiating out a contract, our goal is the best net for obviously the seller. So when we're talking about selling, the best net for the seller and for the buyer, we don't want them getting into situations, so we make sure they have plenty of time to make a decision. They get some due diligence time where they can really go, okay, do we really want this house? Is this what we want? Are we getting a good deal? And that's where our group comes in together with Gerri and Sharon and Annette. We come together, and like Gerri said, all the holes are plugged. The fact of the matter is we don't hear back from clients 90 days later and say, God, we kind of feel like you pushed us into this house. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so in general, that way, or a seller that says, I really feel like you kind of gave my house away when you gave me a list price. We work together to say, look, here's the comps, here's what your house is worth. Just like with the buyers on the buy side, we talk with them. We say, look, we understand you think it's a buyer's market, but fact of the matter is, here's the comps, here's what the house is worth. Someone's gonna pay this price for the house, and it always kind of comes true for the most part. We're pretty close on what we're doing because we do so much of it.
Yeah. Gerri, I guess I'll give you a case study. I'm looking to, kids are getting ready to go to college. I want to downsize. I don't really have any other purpose than that, but I would like to, about a month or so, or I'd like to see, kind of walk me through what the process is going to be, or in that particular case, the scenario you're going to go through with the seller.
First, well, if you're looking to downsize, first I'm going to ask you if you're going to live around here, because you kind of want to have an exit plan. Where are you going to go and move backwards from that? How long? What's your time frame? Really, what do you want to get out of it? And then give you all the information about the reality of what you're going to get out of your house and your buying power when you're moving forward.
Yeah, and I'm assuming. Well, I'm not assuming, I know, but for our listeners, you take care of all the details because I imagine along the way stuff comes up. You don't want it to be their problem. Unfortunately for you, it's your problem, but I'm assuming that's how you handle that.
Definitely. We handle all the problems. In fact, there's very little that comes up that we haven't handled before. So we have experts in place. We have lots of people to go to and get advice from on certain issues. So we definitely give you all the facts and all the choices that you have to move forward to fix it.
So if someone's driving out and about today, they're listening to the show and say, you know what, maybe we should sell our home. What are you telling those folks, or I don't know if there's a particular home you're looking for or a size of home, but coach up our listeners today.
Well, call us. We have a lot of buyers sitting out there waiting for the right house to come on the market. So call us and we'll tell you exactly what we think and if we have a buyer for it already. I mean, a lot of the times we're putting people into houses before we even list them because we have those buyers stacked up. So it's, it's a great deal.
Is there a particular price range that you're seeing more people stacked up looking for?
I would think probably in the mid 250 to 350. That's kind of been an area where there's not a lot on the market, so we have a lot of those people.
Yeah. Well, Chris, you're obviously very fortunate to have Gerri on the team, but I think it fits the slot. As you said, hey, this is what I'm really good at. This is what Gerri's good at. This is what Annette does. I mean, the whole team, and that's what you bring to our listeners and to potential clients.
Well, yeah, you're exactly right. And the biggest thing we have, I always go back to, was talk about the talent. We talk about Gerri and Annette and Sharon, but the biggest thing we also have to offer is that we have the best marketing. I mean, the marketing we use, everything that comes out of my office, or our office, I should say, is first class. We use the best marketing. We have the best signage. Just everything's branded. So when you see one of our listings, I mean, you're driving down the road. Last night, a friend of mine came over and stopped by last night to talk about maybe selling their house, and he said, I was driving around an Eagle, and he goes, holy cow, man. He goes, I'm so sick of seeing your face, kind of, was kind of a joke. But the stuff we use is so distinct, and what people do is they combine, with that, everything they see with us is quality. So when they look and they see my sign in front of the yard, they know that what they're dealing with, from agents to buyers, people that know me out there. They're like, you know what, if we decide to make an offer on this house, even if it's not with me as a realtor and we have the listing, they know that the transaction and how professional we are and how we handle it, all the way from the offer to negotiations, all the way through to close.
Yeah, and Chris, I think that's a big point of some realtors, not some, there's a lot out there. Oh, I'll knock a percentage off, or a couple of percent, or I'll do it for this or that. I don't think what they realize with your group is, hey, that money goes to marketing. Here's what we put into your house, and it isn't just lip service. We really do make your home. It's like yours is the only one on the market. We focus on that for you.
Right, we do, and that goes down from the professional photography to the direct mail pieces we do to really promote your houses, to the flyers, everything in between. But the fact of the matter is, the internet's so important. So with the photos and the description of your home, and so many people looking from out of state, you better look fantastic. And that's kind of our goal. And we go through and we talk about, just our agents in general, and we're highly trained. We discuss about, I'm a firm believer in marketing, and it sells. And so the fact of the matter is, when you choose a realtor to list your house, go look at some of their other listings, because, you go on there and you click on there and you're like, wow, 5 pictures, you go look at one of our listings, or go to my website and you look at it and you're like, 20, there's the maximum amount of pictures, 25 pictures on there. There's a full description of the property, subdivision, etc. And the fact of the matter is, with these virtual tours that we have, our photographer, when we do these photos and people are looking at a state, they get a feeling of what it's really like being in the house. When you walk through the front door, you understand that the office is to the right. The master bedroom's on the main level. You can see the outside. It's a half acre or whatever.
Yeah, there's a wrong way to do it, and then there's a right way, and that's with Chris Lofthus of the Chris Lofthus Group at Keller Williams Realty. We're going to take a time out. And Gerri, I know it's Saturday afternoon, and people are calling. You're getting emails and all. Can you stay for one more segment with us?
I would love to. Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll have Gerri stay with us, and don't tell anybody, but come real close when we come back. It's something new Chris is launching on this show. I can't wait to tell. Well, I can't tell you because it's a secret, but when we come back, we'll unleash the secret. Don't tell anybody now.